Welcome back to Blades Walk. This week we are looking back on that win against Hull and what is all this criticism online? Criticism of players, criticism of Wilder? Do we all just need to calm down and put this whole season into context? If you are a Blades fan that can't wait for this season to end, you are in great company this week. We've got Shax, Jack, Connor, Dan and Mark fresh back from watching that whole game. And yeah, just want this May to come as quickly as possible and just forget about this whole season. But is this criticism of the manager and key players deserved or is it unfair? Well, to answer that, we're going to put that to our panel. Plus, we're also has Tanganga improved? The last couple of games starting to look good again. And who is our young player of the season? We're just carrying on with our awards. And at the end of the video, we're doing our A to Z. We're up to that's a W this week. There's a couple of obvious ones. Who will the panel go with? Stay tuned for that. But a massive thank you over this season to everyone who's helped us grow this particular channel. There's loads of great Blades content that you can listen to and watch. This is 20 minutes, just 20 minutes of this compact Blades review that you'll find on the internet. If you haven't yet subbed to the channel, press the subscribe button. Help us get to that 1,000 subscribers before this season ends against Derby in a couple of weeks' time. We'll be ever so grateful. Right then, Mark, let's start then, shall we? Is the criticism for Wilder and the players that we're seeing online, especially over that Easter period where we weren't picking up wins, at all deserved?
Yes and no. I mean, the results have been poor, haven't they? Let's be honest. And there's a sequence that's repeating itself. And I think that's what everybody's getting really antsy about, is that, you know, you make the subs at 60 minutes, we usually lead in, we throw it away and we get nothing. So the criticism is rightly, why are we repeating that same pattern over and over again? Why is the manager doing that same thing over again? Now, from my contacts in the club, what they keep telling me is that there's more to this than meets the eye in terms of contractual matters, players that are injured. You know, at the end of the day, Chris Wilder was brought in to get us through the season and keep us up. Has he achieved that? 99.9%, yeah. So he's achieved the goal. This crazy talk about the playoffs, you know, we got ourselves in a bit of a false position with a run of form. But at the end of the day, you know, I think you've got to say, no, the criticism's not fair. He's done the job. But yes, the criticism is fair because he keeps repeating the same mistake every week. And yesterday kind of bored the criticism out that when you brought Gyro on, it changed the game in our favour and we won it. So I can see this from both sides, but I do think, you know, at the end of the day, the criticism is more unfair than fair.
Okay. Shax, this is the set of results before the whole game. I think you posted this yourself. It doesn't scream Sheffield United, does it? This is not a team set of results that was in the playoffs and in the playoff final last season. Do you think those fans that are calling out Wilder are right to do so?
Yeah, they've got an opinion. You can just look at that. That's not an opinion. That's fact, and that's factually not good enough. So that's not an opinion. The thing with Wilder is these people that they just love him. It's like inbred in him. They love him, and that's it. They're never going to change that. They just love him. Just like some don't like him, but you've got some that love him. If that were any other manager that were getting them results, they'd be saying, "Thanks for keeping us up, but get yourself off." That's what they'd be saying. But because it's Wilder, they keep saying, "Oh, he's got this credit in bank." When's that credit from? It's from 2019, is it? I'm fed up of hearing any time all bad happens on pitch, which is pretty much every game, just about. Oh yeah, but it's Sellers. How long are we going to keep blaming Sellers for? What we're going to keep doing? 3, 4 years, 5 years? Oh, I know, but remember when Sellers had them 6 games? It's not been good enough. Nobody's been watching them games telling me we've been playing well. No one. Last season, everybody were moaning, saying, "Oh, style plays crap," but we got 92 points, so we sort of skirted over it, and we got to play a final, and we failed. This season, football, again, not been good enough. Horrific. Players down in tools. Just down in tools. That Swansea game at home, horrendous. Just horrific. Just watching Swansea running rings round us. And then, sure enough, it ended game. So Harry, wait till Wilder gets his players. It were mostly his players that were crap. Burrows. There is men. So I don't get this. Well, like I say, at minute they've got these Wilder lovers, I've got this, yeah, but it's all Board's fault or it's all Sellers' fault. Eventually, as you work further down the line, that'll run out. They'll keep on blaming Board because they can't go anywhere. But at minute, just let them have the blame it all on Sellers tag. He has done his job. He has saved us from relegation. I'll give him that. But like I said a couple of weeks, stop pretending that he's done a Lampard and took us from bottom at league to playoffs. We're 18th. I keep hearing, oh, look where we were. We were in basement. We're still in basement. We're just a bit higher up in basement. We're not this good side. We were never, like Mark said, we were never getting anywhere near playoffs. We've looked convincing probably 3, maybe 4 times this season. Anybody decent that's played us just walked straight through us. So, again, they love him and they're always going to love him because of what he did in 2019, 2020. To me, that credit's running low, but like I say, you're going to get some that love him. Well, possibly a majority that love him. I don't know. Looking online at minutes, about 50-50.
Yeah, it's certainly a growing trend that I see as a neutral.
It grows because every 90 minutes that you watch that team play, you realise that nothing changes. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Jack, I'll bring you in this debate. That's right. Jonathan on here was kind of making that point. I think he says, until Wilder and the cabal leave, the club is stuck in a cycle of badge-thumping passion merchants, and the next manager is effed because they can't live without the Wilder comfort blanket. It's almost suggesting that this club can't move forward because of this Chris Wilder bubble that the club live in. What's your view on it?
I think the issue is, when we tried to come away from Chris Wilder, I know we went with Paul Heckingbottom, didn't we? And he came in as a caretaker initially, and it sort of, they were sort of in that similar sort of mould of, he was brought into the youth setup and brought him up. We then went with Slav, didn't work. We were kind of impatient with that. That didn't happen. We went with Sellers, that didn't work. I think we're just petrified of anything outside of probably what we're comfortable with, and that is a manager that's from the region or knows the club well or along those lines. This season, it was a difficult one, really, because I think, like Shaq said, there was a degree of credit in the bank because, of last season. I suppose he couldn't really fail this year because the objective, and if you looked at social media, probably September, October time, there were people thinking we're done for, we're down. He's done what he needed to do. He's kept us up. He's clearly going to get the summer. He's alluded to that in his press conferences. Things are in motion, aren't they, for the pre-season? I think these sort of performances, around September, October this year, then I think certainly people are well within the right to ask the question.
Dan, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of what's been said. The problem is there's no fans, there's nobody, not even the board. I know Shaq said about blaming them, but not even the board can make the right decision to prove that. So my question out there is, who do you bring in? Because the people that have been mentioned, by the way, Chris Coleman, listen, I'd rather have us 5 on here running that side. So the hardest part is, if you're going to come away from it, it's got to be the right call. And somebody advised them last year to make that call. They made it, and it was horrific. But it's one of them. It's not blameless. But what I keep hearing as well, it's the ones that are blinded by, I'm going to go the other way of what Shaq has gone, and the ones that don't like him, they say he don't play 2 strikers, he don't change his system. Well, yesterday he's brought 2 strikers on. He's gone for a second striker and won the game. But arguably the best player on the pitch off. Then at Bristol City, he's tried to combat that by going 5 at the back. So all this rubbish about he don't do this, he don't do that. It's just the other side are also blinded by the things he gets right. But the problem we've got is the likes of you can't take off Andrea Brooks for anybody else because we haven't got nobody else. There's certain players that when you take them off, the squad becomes weaker, or the team becomes weaker, if you like. So you're carrying players, and again, that's probably a
Okay.
a summer transfer window option in it, going back
Cheers,
that way.
Frank.
But if they're gonna make that call, they need to make the right call and bring somebody in established if they want to do that. Do I think they'll do that? No, I don't.
Cheers, Dan. Just switch focus a little bit, Connor, and focus on the whole game then just a second. Of course, it was a red card that was usually the turning point when you get a man sent off. It was the opposition this time. We'll come on to Lundstrom in a minute as well. Jack says, big win that Blaze. He took a bashing last couple of weeks from someone here, but the changes that Wilder made won it for us there. It was a test of character, mental strength, and we passed. Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, until the red card, I were fully thought that we weren't going to get anything from the game. It would just seem to be another one of them games where we get chance after chance and we just can't seem to put ball it back at net. Thankfully, Lundstrom did us a favour, got his sent off, and yeah, the substitutions were perfect. Chong, I'm not his biggest fan, but he came on, he was direct, he kept taking people on, and I think that's something that we lack in the team, having like ball carriers. I think other than Andre Brooks and Hamer, there's not many that can do it. And then, like you say, you got Danny Ings come on, first touch of the ball. I mean, I was questioning it, thinking, what are we taking McGuinness off for and bringing him on? But that's why Wilder's manager, and you've got to give him praise when he does right things. As much as there's many times he brings subs on, and you wonder why he's done it. But yeah, it was frustrating overall. But like you say, we got the 3 points and just made it that bittersweet because I just can't stand Hull fans. They're just so annoying online. Cannot stand them at all.
Well, there's been a bit of fallout from the game. I don't know if you've all picked up on it from the Lundstrom sending off. So Lundstrom goes to Instagram on the Saturday night and posts a statement, which is essentially saying, look, sorry, Hull fans, I messed it up. But actually, the reason that I was feeling a little bit off was because I didn't understand the reception from the Blades fans. I says, I absolutely love the club, gave everything I had for the club and was part of maybe the best Sheffield United team in history. I left because I couldn't turn down the opportunity to change mine and my family's lives. I just want to apologise to the Hull fans and say that I love Sheffield United and always have a special place in my heart. It's a bizarre statement, which is properly, Mark, wound up the Hull fan base to the point where the Hull chairman's come out today and told him, what are you doing talking about Sheffield United? Hull City pay your wages. I mean, what is Lundstrom right? Should he got a better reception?
It's a job advert, isn't it? He's just putting his CV out there. I mean, I think I'm right in saying that they've only got him on loan till the end of the season.
That's right, yeah.
And I'm sure he's probably been having some off-the-record conversations with Chris Wilder. I mean, I find it bizarre that a player under contract or under a temporary contract at Hull could make such a statement. I mean, he's got to know he's going to antagonise people. And if he's going to make that statement, why didn't he make it a couple of years ago when he left, when everyone was on his back? Because I think all us sat here watching him know he was a better player than the performances he was putting in. He did well for like half a season, really well for half a season, and then he just bombed. And it was clear his head was turned elsewhere by more money. It was clear he was getting above his station, and he wanted out of there. To me, he's now saying, well, you know, I'm a few years older, I'm aging a bit, I've got a friend in Chris Wilder, he signed me at Oxford, he signed me at Sheffield, I'll go back and get another payday. That's how I'm reading it, and I think Hull are right to be pissed at it.
Mark, the reason he left United is because he got faced on because a Norwegian international took his place, so he down tools. So
he didn't tools,
just like a lot of the players are doing now. But again, he was a player that I thought was all right, to be fair, and I don't think he deserved that bit of criticism yesterday. But listen, you want to win a game, whether it's McBurney, whether it's Egan, whether it's against my brother, my dad, I'm not bothered about them. I want to win. So whatever stick he received it in that game, and we won by it. So I'm not particularly that fussed.
Yeah, we divided some fans. FG says an unpopular opinion, but I don't think he deserved that reception. Sam says he's got a nerve to post this, like he didn't force a move away or admit that. Yeah, he's not a very nice person. He's
they want to think they're not playing in the 1970s. In the 70s and 80s, when I was growing up, every single player who used to play for you got booed. It didn't matter whether you were a legend or not, you got booed.
Okay. Let's switch gears and talk about Tanganga a second then, Jack, shall we? Some fans are saying, much improved. He's been called out last couple of games. James says, credit where credit's due. The last few games, Tanganga's picked up. Proper performance last Monday and a great assist today. Do you agree, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want the others thing, but I think he looks a lot better alongside McGuinness than he does Bindon, weirdly. I thought when I saw McGuinness come back in, I was a bit harsh on Bindon because he had been one of our better players. But from what I've watched of him yesterday, it was certainly a lot better. And something, the amount of money we paid for him, what you'd expect. But yeah, he does seem to do. He does seem to look better alongside McGuinness. I thought he looked more like his usual self, or something you'd expect from him anyway.
Okay. 4 games to go then, Shax. What do you want to see in these remaining 4 games then? I mean, so you've got the most pointless game against Watford this weekend. Blackburn will be playing for their lives. Preston is a dead rubber game, and probably Derby will be dead rubber as well. I mean, do you want to see some youth? Do you want to see something different? Do you not even care? What do you want to see happen in these 4 games?
Just don't go out without a fight. You know what I mean? Don't go down on a whimper. You've got to try and win all 4 games, haven't you? That's what you've got to do, and try and look. Well, I'm going to say look well. We've not really looked well as such for a while, but we've just got to look as well as we possibly can, and then hopefully try and take that into pre-season. You don't want to be going in on 4 defeats and everybody's heads down, and as they have been all season. You know what I mean? If we could get 4 wins, it'd be nice to have started season with 6 defeats and then finish it with 5 wins. You know what I mean? That'd be Sheffield United all over. But just try and get as many points as you can and have a bit of self-respect. You know what I mean? Them players that are going to play the last game for us, go out on a bang if you like. Don't just go out a back door, as Wilder likes to say. Yeah.
The one thing, Shaq, on the back of what Shaq's saying, I'd like to see him play this goalkeeper Faxon and give this lad a chance, because then at least we know if he's any good whether we need to get a goalkeeper as part of the rebuild or not.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good shout. Yeah.
Connor, anything you'd like to see?
I think for me, it's just play the players that, because according to Wilder, he's already got it sorted out in his head who's staying and who's going. So if they're not going to be here next season, don't play them. It don't really matter whether we lose.
I think that's why he's dropped Bindon, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, I think that's why. Yeah. And I do think McGuinness has done well when he's come in. But like I say, I'd rather Rothwell and Gyro. I thought when they played together, I thought they looked really well. And Sidney Pecky played most of the season. For me, I'd give him a rest and try some other players out, like them 2, possibly against Watford, and see how they go on. Same again with strikers. I think I can't see Cannon going anyway. I think he's going to be here next season. Give him a little run out. Like I say, all the time.
It's Ryan Wands out on loan, isn't it?
Yeah. Players like that. Players that are going to be here next season that Wilder knows about. He should have them in 11. And just don't play ones that aren't going to be here, because
I agree,
we're just going to be developing like Bindon for him to go back to Forest. Potentially Forest come down and he could be playing against us next season. So for me, I'd get all players out that he knows in his head that are going to be here.
Okay. Right then, we have been doing the end of season awards. Not that it's much to celebrate, but nevertheless, we have been. Last time out, we chose our goal of the season. This time out, we want to choose your young player of the season. I imagine there's a couple in contention here, but Dan, who would you give your vote to in this category?
I'm going to say Andre Brooks for me. I think it was a close one between him and Femi Sariki, but I think Brooks he's had a decent season in terms of goal scoring. His defensive work's got a little bit better as well, so I'm going to pick Andre Brooks.
Okay. Jack, do you agree? Or?
Yeah, can't disagree with what he said about those 2, but Sidney Peck for me, I think we forget how young he is. He got thrust in when Arblaster got injured. He's been a mainstay in the side ever since. Scored some good goals, which was part of his game that needed that extra bit of work, which he seems to have done really well with. So yeah, Sidney Peck for me.
Winds up the Wednesday fans as well, doesn't he? Is that in his back?
Absolutely.
His back pocket. Mark?
Femi Sariki for me. For one reason and one reason, well, sadly, the fact he's an incredibly talented attacking player. But I thought when we went down to him as the main fullback, I thought we're in queer street in terms of his injury record. And I'm amazed at his durability this year. He seems to have got his fitness levels, but his injury levels down. And he's been a pretty damn consistent performer. And he makes the same odd mistake that the young lads, Bindon and Peckmate, that for me, it put a lot of value on him. He's become a real asset to the team. So I would give it him.
Excellent. Shax, Connor, any different names to throw in there? Or are you happy with those?
Sidney Peck for me.
Yeah.
Andre Brooks for me.
Okay. 2 votes for 3 players. Right, brilliant. Thanks for helping us split that. One person in the comments can help us out with who you would give that young player the award to. Quick debate which came up online during the Easter break. I wanted to get your views on. I think it was another podcast that asked for your views, which might be unpopular. Mark says we shouldn't sing Greasy Chip Butty at the start of the second half, just at kickoff. Shezzy Blade said the Greasy Chip Butty song is slow and boring. We need something more beat and fun to sing. Yeah, just get your thoughts on that, Connor. Should you just sing it the first half?
For me, I'm not bothered with it. I think it's a bit second half. It's always half-assed. It's like half of them join in, but some don't. And obviously, some people are still at kiosks getting the drinks and that, and having a drink and a fag or whatever. So it's like when you do it at kick-off, you get the full effect. But the second half, it's half-hearted at most from everyone. So I agree with that. But in terms of changing it, it's like no. It's like there's too many things. Clubs now are changing everything about the club. They're wanting to modernise everything and change the badge and change the kit and everything about it. And it's just, why change something there's nothing wrong with it? You know what I mean? And for me, the club, the badge is perfect how it is. Greasy Chip Butty tongue is perfect how it is, and nothing should change.
Okay, all of you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, debate over. Right. Finally, this week, then we're up to letter W. In our A to Z. Just got us thinking about World Cup. Quickly on the World Cup, is there any United players that you expect us to be hearing a lot about in this summer's tournament?
Tahith Chong, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe Tyler. I think Tyler Bindon. I think he'll be there in New Zealand too. So maybe he might.
I'm going to watch him in June. New Zealand are playing here in Orlando.
Oh, they're brilliant.
That's all right.
Against England.
Fantastic. Right then, W then, please. Is it as straightforward as us saying Chris Wilder, or are there others you want to consider?
Dane Whitehouse.
There's obviously Warnock as a manager, or for a player for me.
Walker.
Lee Williamson. I loved him when he was at United.
Okay.
Dane Whitehouse.
Okay, got that one. Any others?
Managers Warnock and Wilder, that's pretty obvious, and then obviously players, all them that's just been said. I'd probably go with Dan, said Dane Whitehouse for me, but I can think of a couple of bad ones beginning with W, but Darryl Westlake, Marcus Williams, but yeah, I'd go along with I'd go with Dane Whitehouse. With Dane Whitehouse.
Okay.
Mitch Ward, same kind of thing.
Yeah, similar, yeah.
Right, we need one name then. How do we settle this?
Whitehouse.
Whitehouse?
For me.
Okay. All right. In the comments,
if you disagree. One thing I'd like to touch on, Mark, I think Jack hit on something dead important earlier on in his comment when he mentioned Paul Heckingbottom. We're at a crossroads now this summer where we've got no money, and we know we're going to have to sell some talent to balance the books. When Chris Wilder left the first time, and as Jack said, we got Heckingbottom in, he'd come through as an under-23 manager, and he'd learned the system, the 3-5-2, the ethos of the club, and what have you. And look at the success that Heckingbottom had on the back of that ethos. Now is the time to bring in another coach or a Billy Sharp or one of these kind of guys who comes through the club with the ethos for when Chris Wilder steps aside, because it's going to happen sooner or later. And I think now is the time to plan it when we're going to have no money. We're going to have to start from scratch with 20-odd new players. And I think that idea that Jack hit on there, I think never more has it been more important that we build like Liverpool did in the 1970s and 80s when they had Shankly, Paisley, Joe Fagan all come through, all worked for the club, all had success because there was some continuity.
We were doing that, Mark, but he's gone to Brentford and he's doing right well there. Keep Andrews.
Well, but you get the idea what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, 100%. Well, look at Andrews. It probably could have been him.
This is what planning would do rather than this knee-jerk Celes and what was his name, Ivanovic and all this. That knee-jerk, because they've got a plan. A club like us has to utilise the ethos and the sort of working-class mentality of the club because we're not billionaires.
Great shouts. Right, that's it for this particular week. We will catch you after that Watford game at the weekend. As thrilling as it's going to be, I'm sure. Join us for our reviews on all of that next week. We'll look to the letter X next week. So looking for any player with an X in his first name or surname that we want to throw into the A to Z of Sheffield United. An X anywhere next week. So get thinking on that. Thank you for your company. Drop us a sub if you haven't already done so. This has been Where Blades Walk. 20 minutes of Sheffield United chat every single week. Thanks for watching.